left. So I think what we'll do is we do have a poll for 2 minutes that we usually do, that we'd like you to, well, we'll cut it down to 1 minute, but maybe we can ask 1 or 2 questions if we can have them answered quite quickly. But we can maybe go over time a little. It's not a problem. Let me just have a look there. I think one of the pertinent questions that might be looming, that word is in the question itself, specifically with relation to South Africa, is whether there is a negative impact of BRICS on USA trade from South Africa. I'm not sure who would answer that. I think maybe Mary. Is there an negative impact on that?
Not that I'm aware of, Emmanuel. To be honest, I don't think, political issues have such a quick impact on exports. So I don't see that happening anytime soon. But, only time will tell, really. So I'm not a political analyst, so I will, stop there with my opinions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. So one of the questions is it possible for AGOA to partner with a procurement and supply chain consultant / entities in Zambia to secure commodity for export to the US? I could possibly answer that, but Warwick, do you want to take that, or anybody?
Yeah, it's obviously possible. It just comes down to which product it is from a commoditized perspective, and whether there's an imperative advantage for the products being exported. So I think it comes down to the actual product. And from a consultancy side, there are various consultants in the market that would be able to assist with that. But once again, it comes down to the actual product itself, and the financial structures of getting that product from Zambia to the US.
Thank you, Warwick. And one more quickly, we've got a bit of time. I think this one would be for Margaret. And I think this is a question that came up last week, last session rather. If you don't fit into the category of products listed or eligible in the on the AGOA list, where else can you find lists of duty-free products from South Africa to the USA?
Okay, so as I mentioned in my presentation, there are 2 ways to get into the US duty-free. Actually 3 ways, but 2 for the time being. One is where you have a tariff preference program, like the one we have with AGOA, where you export having proven or proved that the product meets the rules of origin, and therefore your import on the US side is able to enjoy a lower tariff. The second way you can get your product duty-free is if it's duty-free for everybody. And there's a whole bunch of products that are duty-free for everybody. In other words, there's no tariff at all. And that's another way you can get your products in. I don't know of any other way. So really, it's a question of how the US administration, US government manages its trade through the tariff system, where certain goods are given preferences, and certain goods from certain countries are also given preferences. And it's really for us to take advantage of it. So I don't know of any other way. Maybe somebody else has an idea, but for now, those are the 2 ways you can get duty-free advantage into the US, access into the US.
Thank you, Margaret. This is a question as well. I'm a saffron farmer in Lesotho. I would like to know if it is a must for us to export to the US in tons, or is it okay to export starting with few kilograms of saffron, let's say 50 kilograms and above?
I think that, Margaret, go ahead.
Sorry. Maybe you can answer that, but in my understanding, AGOA doesn't have a minimum quantitative limit. So depending on how you package and what your customer wants, And provided that you are able to ensure you don't have a stock out, when you create demand and then people are unable to get the product, then that becomes an issue. But I think saffron is such a high value product that sending small quantities, I think, would make a lot more sense than huge quantities. So I think it's an excellent idea. And I think the next step would be to look on the HTS code. I do believe it's duty free, but just make sure under the saffron that it is duty free. I do believe it is. Yeah. Thank you.
And the only disadvantage that I might see in lower quantities of product is the shipping costs. But there again, being duty free, that helps on that side as well. So
yeah, and it's a very high value product, so it works well with air freight. But like Manuel said, make sure that you're including those costs within your overall cost as well when shipping or when exporting it.
perfect, thank you. All right, so we